So I've changed the battery, polished the frets, and one other thing I want to show you is that I've messed with the truss rod adjustment, but when I took the strings off, we went from relief to back bow. It shows you how much it can move just by releasing the tension. Next, we'll take a look at the tuners. I'll do one and I'll do the rest off camera. Okay, so what I do personally is I always make sure I take the nuts off first on this side, collars, whatever you want to call them, and the washers. And the reason for that is if the collar should catch, and that screw that goes through that hole right there is already out of there, the tuner can spin and put a circular gouge in the back of your headstock. So I like to do these foist, and then I forgot to grab a tub to put all this garbage in. Oh well, I'll set them right there for now. So I get all these off first, and then yeah. So I'm not going to trouble you with this whole process here. But another note, I like to use a socket on them. Wrench works fine too, a little bit more cumbersome. And when the socket's on there, you have very little opportunity to slide off and quick across your headstock. So I'll be right back when I'm all done getting the nuts off here. That one's really sticky. That would have been a problem. See you in a moment. Okay, I am going to start changing the tuners. Don't be scared. Okay, one of the first things I want to do really is to check. Where's my bag of goodies? It's over here. Check, once I get the screw out, check the thread on this screw here. I've acquired a tub. So the new screws. Sometimes I like to put the new screws in because they're shinier, but I want to make sure I'm not going to be doing anything stupid here. And the true test is, well, first visually, you look at them, see if one's bigger than the other. This is the new screw, so I'm going to try to put it in there. If I can't screw it in by hand, it'll be fine, but I can screw it in by hand easily. And this one is definitely has a smaller diameter than the original. So I will use the originals on it and put them in with the original screws, which I cannot screw in with just my fingers. My fingers just spin at a certain point. So that's going to be a lot tighter fit there. So that's something to keep in mind if you decide to ever change your tuners on really any guitar. So first thing I'm going to do is get this little bugger started. Oh, another important note is to make sure that your screwdriver tip fits very snugly in the slot. Okay, so I get this started. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down. I'll leave it a little loose for a specific reason. And this is the new washer, so I can get it in got a little bit of a crown on it by comparison to the old washers, but I think that's kind of almost like a lock washer. So we'll see how it works out. I just don't want to lose any significant space on my peg for string. Okay, I'm going to take it. I'm going to very loosely snug that down, and then what I'm going to do, as you can see, I can move this back and forth with my fingers, and what I want to do is turn it with my fingers like this at the bottom, because the string's going to be coming off. Where's my finger at? Coming off this side, off of this side of the peg. So I want to turn it to where the tension is going to be applied to this tuner, so that if I have it like this and I go to tune up the guitar, it's slowly going to migrate this way, and I'm going to have tuning problems until it comes to a stop. So I'm going to fast forward that process by making sure that I turn the tuner all the way to where the pressure is going to pull it anyway. So with that, we will go ahead and I'll get the rest of them in, and as I'm tightening them down, I'll be pushing them this way to make sure, because I think on this side tightening them will pull them the wrong way, but I'm going to make sure that I'm pushing them this way to make sure they don't migrate back to where they will cause an issue. So I'm going to do the rest of these off of the grid here, and we'll get back to you when it's time for the next part of this process. I'm holding that nice and tight. Okay, that's the last one. Just want to snug them down real good, not torque them hardcore. So all my keys are on. They look pretty cool, huh? I like the black ones. Anyway, so what's going to be next is wherever I put it. I know I have it here somewhere. Oh, right here is a little bit of fingerboard oil for the fingerboard, and then also I just happened to notice that the bridge saddle was a little bit wiggly. It moved back and forth. Like say if this was the bridge saddle, I'm not going to change the angle right now. It slides back and forth this way. Not a whole bunch, but I'd say probably about a 32nd of an inch, which is enough to be annoying. I just don't want it to be migrating around, but I went ahead and put, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can make you see it. You can probably see it right there. A little dab of super glue gel on there that I'm going to let dry, and then I can shave it down, file it down carefully, so that when I put it in there, it fits snug. Put a drop on each side, as you've seen, so I can center it, and then I'll be ready for strings. But this has got to dry for a few hours, so we're going to let that ride until the time comes. But right now we'll change the angle and put some oil on. Okay, now it doesn't take a whole bunch of this stuff, just a few drops on the towel, and just giving a swirling motion. Really nothing high tech about this. This stuff just it just doesn't take very much at all. It goes a long way. You see, I only put a few drops on it, and I'm getting it all, the whole neck. Even having to wipe off some excess in areas. So, but it will soak in. I do the bridge the same way. I'll spare you that. But as far as everything goes right now, until that saddle's ready, everything else is ready for strings. I did test the pickup, make sure that I put the battery in correctly, and that was a good battery. So everything's working fine with that. So strings will be the next thing that we do.